All right. Here we go. Well, it is extra rounds on location in beautiful Miami, Florida, as we are getting ready for UFC 287. That is tomorrow night here, right in Miami. Hi, I'm TJ DeSantis, along with Hannah Goldy and the human highlight himself, Justin Gaethje, kind enough to give us a few moments here in Miami. Justin, you know, coming off that fight with Fiziev just a few weeks ago, you know, enjoying fight week as a fan a little bit?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of MMA. I've been since day one, so anytime I get to come out, be a guest fighter, I love it. I get to interact with all the fans. So we're here at Grails today, so I'm excited to get to it.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about how, like, you're a fan of MMA. Like, I feel like you fight almost as a fan. Like, you give the fans the fights that they want to see.
I like to go home and watch it, that's for sure. That's always my favorite part.
You know, I'm curious, like, do your trainers ever get mad at you? Because, like, you go out there and you put them through hell. Like, they're in their own mental fight kind of watching you go to work.
I mean, those guys go through the camp with me. They're with me for 12 weeks every day, watching what I'm doing, helping me get ready. So I would say a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago maybe, but I'm fighting much more calculated now. You know, getting hit a lot less. Last fight anyways. Every fight's different, but we get hit in the face. That's what we do. But yeah, I mean, I've got more. There's more method to the madness. Always been a method to the madness, but I would say more calculated now.
When you watch someone like Justin fight Hannah, like, what does that do for your own, like, personal motivations?
I mean, honestly, you're one of my favorite fighters.
Oh, thank you.
Like, even before you signed with the UFC, like, I was so excited when you signed.
It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, I look forward to every single one of your fights, but I do agree with you. I think that, like, you've totally locked in and, like, gotten so much. I mean, I'm sure you've always been technical, but like you said, you like to fight, right? But
yeah, just trusting in it. You know, my first 20, including my amateur fights, my first 25 fights, I just went in there and tried to make them quit before I quit, and I thought that was the only way to fight. So it's refreshing to go in there and be more in control. So I'm enjoying it. I got my eyes fixed too. I think that was a big part of it.
Your eyes fixed?
In 2016, I had terrible vision. I had 20/20 vision since 2016. So kind of that whole transition's been a fun ride.
So back in the day, if the referee asked if you could see, there'd be nothing wrong with your eyes. You're like, I can't see.
If I'm not dead, I can see.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you got that 20/20 vision. That's a flex.
It's game time. Yeah, no, it's the best. I see all the crowd now. It's pretty cool, and it's over.
What do you think about this weekend? Obviously, middleweight title fight. Adesanya, he's down 0-3 against Pereira, but looking at Alex is still the underdog here. It's kind of crazy.
That is pretty crazy, especially, you know, being 3-0. I mean, Izzy hurt him at the end of the first round, last fight. But Pereira's a big man. The one thing, I've been to a lot of Adesanya fights, and one thing I love about Pereira is he makes him fight, and we get to see the best Adesanya. And obviously, Pereira's a champion for a reason, so I'm excited about this fight. You know, I would say the smart money probably on Pereira, but you never know. It's a crazy game. We all love it because anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah, it went into the 5th round last time. Do you think we get a finish this time, like we did last time?
Who knows, man? I don't. If you follow me on betting advice, I would do the opposite, and you will be up a lot right now. So I have no idea.
Fair enough. Co-main event, Miami's favorite son, Jorge Masvidal, taking on Gilbert Burns. This is a fight that, you know, from the outside looking in, like, if I was the manager of Masvidal, I would say, like, is this the best fight for you? This stylistically is a very tough fight, but when you look at a guy like Masvidal who doesn't really back down from challenges, not afraid of a fight, it kind of is the perfect fight. Take on a guy that is a big favorite, but do it in your hometown. What do you think of this fight?
Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns, out of the full selection that Masvidal had, I think Gilbert Burns maybe wants to grapple the least. So I think it favors a good fight, and you know, Burns is a killer, Masvidal's a killer, he's a vet. He's been around forever, man. He inspired so many of us, you know, coming through college and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like to watch fights, so can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I feel like Masvidal needs to make Burns sort of brawl, right? Like, if he can get him, he did that.
He needs to put him to sleep and catch him.
That's
catch
true.
him
Sure.
sleeping a little bit, and then you know, he's super explosive. The way he knocked out Wonderboy Thompson, something similar to that. The way that Anthony Pettis knocked out Thompson as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So those, I think those opportunities might be there, but he's gonna have to kind of lull him to sleep.
Yeah, Gilbert's a dog.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, that's hard to do against Gilbert.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
do you guys think that this could be fight of the night?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the higher to the top of the card, the better your chances of getting a bonus. So, that puts him in position. If it has to go past 2, usually past 2. So we'll see. I think if someone finishes it in the first 2, they just get a performance bonus.
Right, yeah,
There's no fight of the night bonus.
Yeah.
That's the most likely scenario is one of these guys picks up a performance bonus.
Yeah, probably a bonus, for one or both
if someone gets a finish, yeah.
Yeah.
If no finish, it goes 3 rounds, and there's not too much grappling. I think, which probably isn't the smartest for Gilbert, but
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah,
gonna say.
probably the fight of the night. Just because the anticipation, the all the energy that will be in the crowd through that fight, it'll make it that much better.
For sure. On the way out here, just put on a hell of a fight with Rafael Fiziev. What's next for you? Do you have a timeline when you want to get back?
I mean, we'll see. We got this big fight in May. We'll see. I think that's a big factor on what's going to happen. Who's going to fight Islam in October?
Right.
Someone's got to fight him. If Oliveira wins, then my name jumps right up in there to I guess a group of 3 people that someone's going to fight him, and I'm one of those guys. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I
you're
think
in
Darius
Miami.
is going to win. So
What's that?
I think Darius will win and settle it for himself.
We'll see what happens. I can't wait for that. You're in Miami hanging out tonight at Grails. You want to do a shot? We got these shoes that they.
I get to keep the cup.
I mean, I'm not going to have anyone try to take it away from you, Justin. So
I might.
there we go.
All right.
We're kicking it or something, right?
Kicking it.
Yeah. All right. Oh. Ah.
Oh, yeah. Whew, spicy.
All right, that happened.
That was good.
Justin, appreciate you coming by. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
There he
Let's get
is.
to these people.
There he is, the highlight reel. Justin Gaethje, kind enough to join us here on Extra Rounds. Cannot wait to see you back in action. Justin, thank you. Appreciate it. Hannah, my mouth is dying right now.
Oh my gosh,
What
that
happened?
was tequila.
Okay. That's what that was?
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah. Well, it's, a perfect city to have fun and party in. Miami. It's almost a fighting capital when you think about what has happened here, like with Masvidal, the guy who went from the boatyard to the octagon. These were the stomping grounds of Kimbo Slice back in the day. And Florida, I mean, you're a Floridian.
Yeah,
Florida's a fight state.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, Florida, I'm biased, but I love it. And Miami, this is actually one of my first times experiencing Miami, and I just got to do a tequila shot with you at Grails. I mean,
it's
awesome.
pretty good start to fight week,
Pretty good start, yeah. Couldn't get much better.
That's what's crazy. So you're like a Floridian, but you don't make it down to Miami too much? Like, it's such a huge state. I can see why maybe you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Miami is like a different world than Orlando.
Right.
Like South Florida and Central Florida, they're almost, like you said, it's such a big state.
Yeah.
It's like almost like 2 completely different states.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely.
It's awesome down here. I love South Florida. I'm enjoying it, and Fight Week is, the best. So
Absolutely. Let's get back to what we're talking about. Big main event coming up on Saturday night. It's not even the rematch. It's the second time they fought in MMA, but the 4th time that they fought overall. Israel Adesanya looking to recapture his title, taking on Alex Pereira. When I look at this fight, for a variety of reasons, it gets people excited. And when I look at the big sort of narrative, that the fact that it is a rematch in their 4th fight overall, it is a little bit crazy, Hannah, to think that Pereira, who's won 3 of the previous matches, still a slight underdog. Again, it's slight. It's like plus 115. But how do you beat someone 3 different times and still have to prove to the world, like, yeah, I'm the guy that should be favored?
yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I think Alex is just a savage. I was telling you earlier, he has come through our gym in Orlando Fusion, and man, I'm telling you, this guy is a monster. And not only on the feet, I think that we're definitely going to see like levels up in his grappling and his wrestling as well. He was taking down everybody on the mat, and my coach was telling me that he's just never felt any kind of strength in the grappling like he did from Alex. So I'm really excited for this fight, and I definitely would not count him as an underdog.
It's interesting you talk about the wrestling game, because these guys are obviously both from a striking base, and but they're intimately familiar with one another, having gone as many rounds in kickboxing and as MMA as they they have, it makes you start to wonder that if that wrestling game of Pereira might be the sort of secret weapon in this fight, because, you know, the best athletes in MMA are those that always can make that, you know, next level adjustment.
The transition between the sports, for sure.
Because, I mean, that's the one thing, too. When I look at Adesanya, he's had success in all of his fights, essentially, with Pereira, but he hasn't been able to put the Brazilian away. Now, it seems like Izzy thinks, I know exactly what I need to do. He said that multiple times. I know exactly what I need to do to make sure that I win this fight. And, you know, with that in mind, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because you know exactly what to do in those previous fights.
But you haven't done it yet.
But you haven't done it yet, right?
And, I mean, it's easy to say that, but then when you're standing in front of Alex, you know, it becomes a tougher task, right? So we will see, but I'm betting on Alex.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, if you are betting on Alex, you're doing so at plus money. Let's take a look at the odds courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings. Plus 115 is the comeback money on the underdog, Alex Pereira, for Israel Adesanya. You got minus 135. Again, not often where you see a guy that has multiple victories over someone being the slight underdog, but that is the case here. I think early in this fight, you're going to see a much more aggressive Israel Adesanya, because he was close to putting Alex away in the previous meetings. But, I mean, at the same time, like, he has to be prepared to go 5 rounds, right? And if you
can't blow your load at the beginning, right? But
yeah.
I definitely think he will go in, you know, a little confidence, knowing that obviously Israel has the power.
Right.
But again, Alex is a monster. But I think, I mean, we're obviously going to win, right? The fans,
100%.
They're going to win. It's going to be a great fight.
This is one of those fights where there is no real loser, you know, for the fans to see it. I'm curious what you think about this immediate rematch. Would you have liked to see Izzy go out there and get a fight back before he finds himself in this title fight, or did you like the immediate rematch?
I mean, I think that he deserves it. You know, I mean, you know, he did have success in that first round, and I think, you know, there's always that question, right? So, like, let's just put it to rest. Let's have him go one more time, and let's put it to rest, and then, you know, we'll see. We will see. The
bio on Israel Adesanya, it's impressive. 23-2 in MMA, his finishing rate of 65%. His debut goes back to February 10th in 2018. So, you know, he's risen to success, you know, pretty quickly and prominently. He's only been stopped one time in mixed martial arts. That's one thing that I'm curious about. The last time he was stopped was obviously against Alex Pereira. Is that in his mind at all? Like, look, this guy can stop me in kickboxing, he stopped me in MMA. Like, does that weigh in his mind?
You know, I would have to say yes, right? You know, you were talking about his confidence going into this fight, but there also has to be some concern knowing that this man has finished him, you know?
Right.
So I think that as confident as you want to be going into a fight, there's always, you know, that little bit of a doubt when, you know, somebody has the capability to finish him.
I mean, you're walking in there in the octagon with one of the best in the world that has ever done it. So you're going to, I don't care how confident you are, you have to accept the fact that, like, things might not go your way, and you have to meet that with...
Bro, anything can happen in a fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could be, you know...
You could trip on a pipe in the back and never even make it to the octagon.
Literally, you could twist your ankle warming up.
Yeah.
I've literally seen that happen.
Yeah.
Like, on the regional scene, I've literally seen one of my friends, like, lost a player. He lost, like, his opponent because he got hurt warming up in the back.
Yeah. Kevin Randleman was UFC heavyweight champion. I don't remember what UFC it was, like UFC 30. He slipped on a pipe in the back, and they had to cancel the main event.
Why was there an exposed pipe in the back?
I don't know. It was the UFC 30s. There was crazy stuff going on.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, but, you know, that's my question. Like, does Adesanya have the mental edge? Because he seems to know something that I don't know if all the fans feel the exact same way. Like, I don't want to, like, crap on his confidence, but it's like, you just got stopped by this guy, yet you were talking like you could finish it at any time.
Yeah, you know, I think, obviously, as a fighter, like, you need to go in there with that confidence, right? Like, we're not going to sign a contract and say, I'm going to fight you if I don't think I can beat you.
Right.
You have to carry that confidence into the octagon, of course. But, you know, this is a fight. We have to build it up, too, right? And I think that on the fan side, you know, everybody loves Israel, right? And I think that, you know, we're still warming up to Alex, and I don't think he's getting the full love and support from the fans yet. And I do hope that, you know, that happens soon, because I think he's just a monster and a savage, and I think he deserves that respect as well.
Yeah, let's take a look at his bio, because it's impressive to say the least. You know, he's only had 8 fights in MMA. He's already the UFC's middleweight champion. He's a savage and a finisher. 6 of his 7 wins come by way of knockout. And again, he's only been in the UFC for, you know, a year and some change.
And he's the champ.
Yeah, it's like that is absolutely crazy.
Where's the respect for this man?
He's not even the betting favorite.
Yeah,
he's beat this guy 3
crazy.
times. I don't know. I can't get over that.
Love you, Alex.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing too. I think, you know, if he goes out there and is able to get another finish or at least look dominant against Adesanya, that, you know, sort of love is going to have to roll his way. Like, how can you deny the man, right?
No, you can't, right? Like, they're literally, you know, making him fight Adesanya again.
Yeah,
so.
100%. Cannot wait to see it. It unfolds Saturday night, 5 rounds of fighting for your UFC middleweight championship. In the co-main event, Miami's favorite son, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, takes on Gilbert Burns. It's a fight that he's interesting. It's curious when you look at the stylistic matchup because I don't think it's the best fight from a style standpoint when you look at Jorge Masvidal. But this is a guy that has never backed down in any of his fights. Literally fought in the boatyard with Kimbo back in the day, and has always looked at every challenge, you know, as one to meet head on. And you know, I would be lying if I said that I didn't feel the exact same way that I feel about this fight that I did with Ben Askren in Jorge Masvidal. I thought the Ben Askren fight was very much a tough stylistic matchup for Masvidal, and then we saw him take care of it in 6 seconds. You know what I mean? So, but I like the.
To be fair, I do think Gilbert is, you know, another animal than Ben Askren.
Right, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but there are similar sort of challenges that Gilbert presents that Ben did in the sense of like the grappling sort of game. If Gilbert, you know, goes out there and is methodical with takedowns and tries to control Masvidal and puts him into that survival mode that we saw Masvidal in against Covington, you know, that could be one. But the other thing, and this is where I think Masvidal has a good chance at making this fight victory for him, is we've seen Gilbert get into some wars. We've seen him, you know, slug it out. That was very evident in the Khamzat Chimaev fight. I think if Masvidal is able to get Gilbert okay with the idea of brawling,
yeah, into the dogfight for sure. I think Gilbert definitely has to stick to the game plan and, you know, stay technical, not get sucked into Masvidal's game for sure, because Masvidal is a BAMF.
Yeah, I mean, how do you do that as a fighter? Like, how do you egg your opponent on to maybe fight outside of their normal fight IQ?
I mean, you know, I think Masvidal's obviously good at that, right? He brings a lot of charisma.
Somehow he's got Kevin Holland mad at him, you know? So.
I know, the poor lady at the hotel was talking about how scared she was that altercation happened. But, I mean, man, Gilbert is so experienced. He's been in there with the best of the best. I think it's going to be tough to drag him out of, you know, knowing what he has to do and doing what he has to do. But I think, I mean, again, that one's going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be an awesome fight. So.
100%. And Gilbert's really been on a mission since moving up to 170 pounds, you know, a career lightweight prior to his move up to welterweight. But let's look at his bio quick, 21-5. I mean, look at that finishing rate, 72%. Just he will either submit you or knock you out, and you're lucky to make the final bell if he doesn't do one of those two things. Been in the UFC since 2014, and I mentioned that record at 6-2 in this division. He's only lost to Khamzat Chimaev and the former champion, who was the champion at the time, in Kamaru Usman. Like, we're looking at Gilbert Burns as potentially being another contender for a title fight just with this win, if he gets it.
Yeah. What do you think the winner of this title fight? What do you think the winner of this fight? What's the next move?
I mean, I think if Masvidal wins, it's a no-brainer to me. He's got a built-in rivalry with Leon Edwards. It makes a lot of sense. You know, 3-piece in the soda and all that fun business. It's been building for a couple of years, so I think we'll see that. But for Gilbert Burns, I think he's also in line to potentially fight for that title too, because when you look at the people that are in front of him, Khamzat, you know, he's there. He's one above him. I think number 5 in the rankings. But at the same time, like, I don't know if we're sold on Khamzat being a welterweight long term.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So, how do you feel about the talk of Masvidal possibly retiring after this fight if it doesn't go his way?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, looking at Masvidal, he's a fighter, right? Like, I've always said there's 3 personalities in mixed martial arts. There's athletes, there's fighters, and there's martial artists. And I feel like Masvidal is that fighter. You know, fighting helps identify who he is as a person. He wakes up because he's a fighter. He goes to the gym because he's a fighter.
Fights in hotel lobbies.
So. Right, exactly. The man doesn't know how to do anything without fighting, you know? I do enjoy the fact that he has given it some thought, because I think a lot of athletes don't think about life after fighting until they're experiencing life after fighting. fighting.
Absolutely.
And we've seen him, you know, branch into different business ideas. He's a promoter on the side. He's at least taken the steps forward to have something more for him, still within the fight game, outside of, you know, being an active competitor. But
He can stay busy.
But I think even if he does come up short, as long as he's competitive and doesn't get blown out, which I don't think Masvidal will do in front of his home crowd, I have a hard time with him actually stepping away, even if he thinks he can.
Yeah, absolutely. At least maybe for a short period of time, but you think he's going to get that inch back?
Yeah, I mean, how does he
Absolutely.
not? How does he not? Like,
I know.
He's just a guy that, you know.
He'll be fighting when he's 50.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, he's going to be picking a fight over tiddlywinks in the old folks' home. You know what I mean?
I'm not messing with him.
No, absolutely not. But
I got to carry a water bottle on me at all times. I'm just like, shh.
there you go, right? Exactly. Do you have a pick on this fight?
Man, I want to see it go all the way because I want to see Masvidal put on for the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I think I'm going to go Gilbert.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know, I think Gilbert is the smart pick when it comes to, like, the stylistic matchup. If Gilbert fights to his fight IQ level, I think this could be a really great night for him. But if he gets sucked into the crowd, because the crowd is going to be so loud and so energetic, and, like, you know, let me ask you this. Like, when you are in there, when you're in the octagon and you're fighting, do you tend to hear the crowd? Is that something that weighs in your mind when you're fighting?
I think there's been times when I have, and there's been times when I haven't. You know, when I fought in the O2 Arena against Molly, when I was walking out, I was literally getting spit on. I had beers poured on me, and people were screaming F you in my face, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This is so awesome. And then as soon as I stepped into the octagon, I didn't hear any of it. You know? But there's definitely been fights where, like, all I could hear was the commentators, or all I could hear was the fans. So I think it depends, you know, how mentally locked in. So I think going back to Gilbert, like, if he can stay mentally locked in and engaged, then I think, you know, like you said, it could be a good night for him.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes athletes get sucked into the brawl because they will have a flurry of action, and then they can hear the crowd sort of explode and rise.
You know the crowd's going to be booing if they're not getting the action that
exactly,
they want, for sure.
Exactly. You know, I wanted to bring something up, too, when it comes to the crowd. If you look at Jorge Masvidal's bio, 52% finishing rate. He's got a ton of fights by decision, and this is a guy that perennially has been a contender both at welterweight and at lightweight, and he's like 2-5 in split decision losses. Okay, so like he's had I think roughly like 14 or 15 split decisions, and he comes out on the losing side more often than not. And a lot of that, I think, tends to sort of, in real close fights, I think the judges sometimes listen to the fans. The fans are going to cheer for the fan favorite when they do something, and then they tend to not really make a lot of noise when the guy they're not cheering for does something. And I think that if this fight goes 15 minutes in this city and it's a close fight, I think you might hear the crowd sort of, you know, telling the judges, look, the offense from Masvidal was pretty great, and we didn't really care about the offense from Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, what a great point. See, you are like such an amazing analyst.
Thanks.
Oh, my goodness.
I try. But, you know, I do think that's something that the judges sort of, because, like, the judges, you think about it, they're locked in and they're watching, and they don't have the commentary, they don't have, you know, the best angle always to know that connected, that didn't connect, and, you know, there are a lot of times.
And to that point, I'm sorry to cut you off, but, like, you know, you could get hit and it could look like it hurt you, it could look like it rocked you, but then it's like, gosh, it didn't hurt, you know? So it's like,
I remember
you never know.
talking to Clay Guida back in the day when he had, like, just, he still has insane hair. And it's like, when you like faint, it looks aggressive. You know what I mean?
Everything he does looks aggressive.
Yeah. And I think it goes like the opposite way. Like, you might get bumped a little bit and your hair goes flying. It's like, oh, that was a damaging shot.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's a shot that, like, people are like, don't even consider. And you're like, man, that rocked me.
Right,
so.
No, 100%. It's always like, I mean, the old adage is it's the punch that you don't see coming, the one that always hurts.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Or knocks you out.
Exactly. So, now, pretty fun fight in your co-main event. It just is one of many here in Miami. I love this city. I can't tell you how much. I mean, I know that.
Just took tequila shots out of a shoe.
I know.
How cool is that?
Yeah, like Grails is the place to be. Hopefully, you're coming to Miami now for this fight, or in the future. You got to stop by. Like Grails is like a shoe-themed bar, right? And
I guess that goes with your socks.
So yeah, well, check out my shoes. Check out my shoes. Like, I like my shoes. I don't get my shoes on the air enough.
I'm wearing Adidas too. Look at my shoes.
Look at you.
Oh my goodness, I can't get them off.
That's all right.
Yours are cooler, but look, we match.
There you go. See, I'm a weirdo. I only wear shell toes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like, just
yeah,
like
shell
protect
toes.
you have sensitive toes?
No, they're just cool looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's go with that. I don't know. I find one pair of shoes that fit, and I don't change them. No need to change them over the years.
One pair of shoes that fit?
Yeah, like the model, the Adidas Superstar. Like they fit.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you meant like you have one pair of shoes that fit.
No, I have more shoes than my wife does.
Fluctuate in size? Like,
No.
on a daily basis?
No, I have flat feet, so like I don't find a very comfortable shoe. Let's not talk about my shoes. It's a problem. My wife tells me all the time it's a problem. So another problem for people to keep an eye on. We got a problem here in the bantamweight division. Adrian Yanez and Rob Font. This is a phenomenal fight. Yanez, he's got 5 fights inside the UFC, and he's got 5 bonuses to boot. Like this kid just comes out and puts on a show and does so time and time again. And I'm kind of curious. Like when you're Adrian Yanez and you constantly deliver, you sort of built up the expectation that fans are going to expect a fight of the night or performance of the night type performance. Do you think that's something that weighs on his mind? Like I got to deliver to the fans as well as a win for myself?
I think that can add a certain aspect of pressure, right? Because like you want to put on an exciting fight, but at the end of the day, a W is a W.
Right.
And this is a huge fight for him. So I think that he's going to do what it takes to get the W, but also against a very tough opponent in Rob Font.
Yeah, and Font is a guy that was on a nice little string of victories until he came up against Jose Aldo, who got a win, and Chito Vera. He had won 4 straight prior to that. Looking at Font, still high in the rankings, number 6 when it comes to the bantamweight division. For Rob Font, he needs to go out there and make a statement, and there's no better statement to make than by dispatching a guy who, for a lot of people's money, is already in the top 10. Adrian Yanez, number 12.
A lot of heat behind him right
yeah,
now,
because Yanez is a guy that he might be top 5, but he just has to get the wins to get into that top 5. And I look at a guy like Font, who's been around for a while, and Yanez, who's relatively new, but is becoming a fan favorite. Like you got to keep those young guns down. For Rob Font, he's got to lay down the law.
He doesn't want to be a gatekeeper, right? Because that's essentially
Yeah, no, 100%. And man, I don't know if anybody can keep the gate shut for Adrian Yanez. He just seems to blast through everything. But yeah, I don't know.
I do enjoy watching him. He's so exciting. So I am looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, and he's also like really cerebral as a fighter. He's a guy that sort of took over his gym in Houston. His trainer Saul Solis passed away, and he's sort of become this young kid who's kind of in charge of everybody, running camps and things like that. And he's talked about how it allows him to really understand more about himself as a fighter, being kind of everyone else's coach.
That's what I was going to say. That can definitely add another level to him as an athlete. Being a coach, I just feel like that once I started coaching regional level girls like on our team, I just feel like that it just added to my ability as an athlete for sure. So
yeah, I mean, like you learn how well you know something by trying to teach someone else to do it.
Yeah, I know. Like if you can teach something, it's next level. For
right.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's great to hear him talk about how it has improved him, because what better way to honor your coach by taking over the gym that he leaves behind? And this better than anybody. The athletes inside a gym are a family.
Absolutely.
And not always do we see a young kid sort of step up and become sort of the leader of a family. But for Yanez, I think he's done that, and he's done so, really well. He's a young father in real life. Just had a baby not too long ago, and that's one thing. I mean, you're a mother as well. Like it's crazy to think about how selfish you need to be as an athlete, but at the same time, you need to give back to your training partners, and like to do so when you also have a family at home. Like especially like a mother. A mother is like the centerpiece of a household for so many kids. Like how do you do your parental duties while simultaneously making sure you don't cheat on your diet and things like that?
It's tough when I'm making Kraft mac and cheese and I want to take a huge bite of it. Man, it is tough. But
wait, you can make Kraft macaroni and cheese without taking a bite of it? I don't think I can.
I'm licking the spoon.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it just depends. Like if I'm cutting to 15, absolutely not. I definitely cannot be eating Kraft mac and cheese. But 25, I have a little more leeway. So.
I mean, who doesn't want to eat more Kraft macaroni and cheese, right?
It's the best, man. That's the best.
What's the one food that you hate cutting out during fight camp?
I I am a huge sweets person.
Yeah.
So like I literally will skip dinner so I can have 2 desserts. So for me, it's like anything sweet at the end of the night. Cheesecake, tres leches is probably my favorite dessert ever.
Nice.
Yeah, just sweets in general. Like I'm just such a sweets person, so that is the toughest for me for sure.
I love cheesecake. Like cheesecake is my
So
language.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, my wife bought me a cheesecake on her second date. I was ready to marry her right
You're
then and
like
there.
sold.
Yeah.
She's it. She's
Yeah,
the one.
that's just-
Put a
just-
ring on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hasn't bought me a cheesecake since then, though. So.
She's like, I did
Yeah.
my work.
Yeah.
I'm
just,
good.
I'm easy, you know. Like,
She might now.
yeah. Why not?
Just remind her.
If you're watching, honey, I need cheesecake.
Let's just get
Yes. Let's talk more about some fights coming up. We talked about that bantamweight fight, welterweight fight. We've already talked a little bit about Kevin Holland. He almost had a fight with Jorge Masvidal in the lobby. You know, I look at Holland, and he's a guy that seems to always be attracted to sort of chaos. Like, he's been a good Samaritan in multiple situations where he's gone out and saved people from, like, burning wrecks and semis and things like that. But he also tends to find himself in kerfuffles, if you will.
Throw a little bit of ratchet in there.
Right,
It's
like-
like everything in moderation. There has to be balance.
Yeah, like, I mean, going back to like UFC 279, he got into it with Hamzat at the press conference. They had to cancel the whole press conference.
I remember.
You know, and I don't know, like,
Just like to add a little spice.
right. I mean, I like spice, I like flavor, but at what point are we going like, all right, what's going on here? There's one common theme in all of these craziness.
And it's
Kevin Holland. I mean, that might be his brand,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, hey. As long as he's not throwing water bottles at me, I'm good.
Right, yeah. Yeah, if he's not throwing water bottles or punches, he's throwing like insults at you when you fight. Like, nickname Big Mouth, you know, for good reason. Like, that's what I love about Kevin Holland. You never have to like guess where he's at.
Yeah.
Like, he'll tell you and everyone else exactly where he's at.
Yeah, he's like one of those guys, like, he can't hide anything. It's written all over.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not even written on his face because he's
No,
literally
he's literally,
saying
yeah.
it. He's
yeah.
literally saying it.
Yeah. You know, I called a combat jiu-jitsu match with you in Mexico, and you were talking a lot.
I feel like I was smiling so much. I was just like having so much fun hitting that. Yeah, it was fun.
Are you a talker in your fights?
Honestly, not more recently. Like I actually in my fight against Molly, and like she like had told, we have a mutual friend, and she told our mutual friend that I told her that she smelled good. But because she did, like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I'm a terrible SHIT talker, but like I just wasn't expecting it. She smelled like Old Spice, and I just had to tell her, you know.
You definitely have a 6-year-old at home because you just spelled shit
I
instead of
didn't know
saying
I
it.
could say it.
I appreciate it. I mean, I went like 20 years
Well,
in
you know-
broadcasting without ever saying it, so like that's like the
And
5th time I've
and
ever said
can
it.
Spell now too.
Oh,
Literally,
God,
he
it's
was
the
in the
worst.
back of my car the other day.
Yeah.
And he's like B-O-O. He spelled boob, and that's wow.
Oh, no.
And I just said boob. I don't know if I'm allowed to say boob.
You are, yeah. I mean, you can pretty much say whatever you want to.
My 5-year-old spelled boob.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
I mean,
Where do we go from
not
that?
much. I mean, another tequila shot?
Maybe. We'll see if we can hook that up. Let's talk about another young man, Raul Rosas Jr., 18 years old. He got signed through the Contender Series when he was 17. Second UFC fight. And think about this. Like, there are athletes that have been in the UFC that had 20-plus fight careers in the octagon and have never made it to a pay-per-view main card.
No.
He's doing it in his second UFC fight.
So awesome. I
That's-
love to see it. Honestly, I love to see it. It's just, I'm rooting for him. I like him a lot. I think it's just, it's so young. That's
Yeah.
so impressive to me to take on like the pressure and everything. I just think it's so amazing.
You know, and at the press conference earlier this week, the fans were asking him, like, what do you say to the athletes that say, like, you don't deserve this spot, or, you know, this is too much too soon? And, you know, I liked his answer because it was one of confidence and one of just sort of indifference to the idea that someone was trying to sort of start smack. He basically just said, like, look, if you're mad that I'm in the pay-per-view and you're not, like, start doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and
you
you
know?
know what? To me, like that again shows like his mental clarity and like his mental fortitude, and I think that is going to shine through in his fights. You know, if he can drown out the haters, like good for him, because it is tough to do that. This is a tough sport. MMA fans can be brutal, man.
Yeah,
So-
no, 100%. Trust me. So can the media. The media can also stir some stuff up, and like that's kind of what I thought was kind of happening there. Was, you know, the media is trying to say so and so are saying that maybe you don't deserve this, but no one said anybody by names. And like for Rosas, he didn't really entertain it. Like this is combat sports. Like if you have a problem with someone in your division, like
We're gonna fight about it.
yeah, like I don't understand what the ambiguity about. Oh, people are saying like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
you literally fight for prizes.
We can literally fight.
Like I want more prizes than you. Let's fight over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just.
Call him out.
Yeah. So like at 18 years old, the way that he's handled this, it's incredibly impressive.
Definitely impressive. Very impressive.
And also too, he's a Mexican fighter. What a great time to be a Mexican mixed martial arts fan. Like 3 champions right now.
Alexa.
Yeah. Like I just, it's crazy. And this is a country that for the longest time, the UFC had really wanted to have a marketable entity. Now they have 3 of the brightest stars in the sport: Alexa Grasso, Yair Rodriguez, and of course Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno's like, that's every guy I love in the world. Like he's just a goofy, quirky sort of guy who just does his thing, and he might get made fun of for playing with Legos, but he'll also choke you unconscious.
I mean, Legos are awesome.
Yeah, until you step on one.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh my gosh, it really sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst. They're like little landmines.
Yeah, I know. Like especially the tiny little ones. Like the big ones are not that bad, but those tiny little ones, like they literally, it hits your soul.
I swear to you, I had a Lego embedded in my foot. Like it hurt so bad. It was like one of those little triangle ones that were like clear. Like it's a problem.
It's just part of you now.
Yes, it's part of me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. Let's take a look at the odds one more time, courtesy of DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet just $5 and win $150 in bonus bets if your fighter wins. Download the app and use the code Fight Pass to get in on the action today. Again, Alex Pereira, your defending champion, plus 115. The underdog, Israel Adesanya, the favorites. And again, like I don't mean to like just drive the point home, but like, are the odds makers just thinking like, Izzy's due?
I know. I don't.
You know, because I mean they've been close.
This has got to be the one.
This has got to be the one.
We've got to be right.
Right,
this time.
right. Like, can we really be wrong all 4 times?
I just feel like they're just hating on Alex. Like,
Yeah.
Let's just show Alex some love. Like, but again, anything can happen in a fight, and you know what? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I have a real hard time believing that Alex walks out of this without a win, without a massive amount of fans getting on board too,
Like,
right?
Prove them wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Any prediction in the fight, in the main event?
Main event. I'm gonna say Alex takedown TKO.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You're really putting faith into that wrestling game.
I am.
All right.
And, like, I'm
Like
just
latter part of the fight, like rounds 3, 4, 5. Round 3.
Let's go round 3.
All right, I like it.
What's yours?
I'm gonna say we're gonna see a decision, and we're gonna see Israel Adesanya walk out and new.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, winners buying shoot tequila shots.
Sure.
Or losers buying shoot tequila shots.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it ends with shots, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And starts with tequila.
Yeah, exactly.
Or cheesecake.
So I don't know if you know this. I'm Mr. 305 now.
All right.
Yeah. Like I wanted to look like a local.
I feel like Jorge's gonna fight you for that title.
No. Jorge's gonna welcome me with open arms
Is he?
because like I look like a local now, right?
You do.
Yeah.
Pink is definitely your color.
It is my color. Yeah. This is the midlife crisis I've always wanted. You know.
It looks good.
Dude, I don't know how kids wear the hats nowadays. Like, do you crease it or do you?
No, like just.
Oh, well, the other way. That's something.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Or backwards.
Who's Mr. 305? Isn't that Pitbull? Yeah, Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm talking
Dude,
about.
you know so many random stats.
I know.
Crazy.
I have a lot of alone time, Hannah. Just look at Wikipedia all day.
Just you and cheesecake.
Yeah, just me, cheesecake, and mixed martial arts. That's
Your
pretty
wife
much.
is like, hey, I'm over here.
Right, yeah. She's like, whatever. She's telling me to go away anyway. She's like, don't you have fights to watch? Like, probably, yes. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to go Izzy by decision. Co-main event, need a prediction. Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal.
Man. I'm going to go Gilbert decision.
I'm going to go Masvidal, split decision.
Okay.
He's going to turn it around. The crowd's going to will him to victory.
Yeah, I feel like you're just going against what I'm saying.
Maybe.
You have like a vendetta against
You want me to pick the next one?
Yes.
All right, I'll go first. Adrian Yanez. I like him big.
Come on.
Don't be ripping me off. You got to go Rob Font.
All right, fine, Rob.
All right, there we go. Then we got Kevin Holland, Santiago Ponzinibbio. I like Kevin Holland.
I do too.
He'll probably pick another fight with somebody before he leaves the octagon. So
hopefully it's not you.
yeah, no, it's definitely not going to be me. And then Raul Rosas Jr., Christian Rodriguez.
I'm going Raul.
Yeah, I mean, the steam is behind this kid in a big way, and we'll see if he can continue the hype train. Like, I can't just imagine the expectations that are on him. You know what I mean?
Just, like, by what you said, his response, I really feel like he's just mentally locked in, and I think he's really ready to take this on.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a ton of fans inside the arena here in Miami on Saturday night. You know, you've made the walk to the octagon. I can't imagine what it was like fighting Molly in that hostile territory. But you know, bring me back to your first couple walks to the octagon. Was it nerve-wracking?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, 1,000%. I was telling you earlier, like, I only had 5 pro fights before I signed with the UFC. So, yeah, walking to the octagon for the first time, for sure. I was like, I don't even remember it because I was, like, totally mentally clocked out, like,
right.
just seeing everything that was going on. But it can definitely be nerve-wracking. But, again, I think if you can get those nerves under control and really just stay engaged, then,
right.
you know, you have a job to do.
And you like Raul, too, have the experience of being on the Contender Series, which is like fighting in front of like 50 people.
Which I thought was honestly like the Apex during COVID. Like,
yeah.
I love fighting at the Apex. It's my favorite venue because I can actually hear my coaches.
Right.
I can, you know, like, it's just such an intimate experience.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that experience.
Yeah, I remember when the Apex started and like it was weird what you could hear, you know, on TV. Yeah. It's like, why do I hear them breathing every little
like
ounce of air? And
yeah, was so quiet.
Yeah.
It was so strange. But then it got normal, right? And then like when we started going back to having crowds, we were like, this is weird.
Yeah, yeah. But I also too like, there's got to be something so magical about the idea of fighting in front of that crowd, having them, you know, give you their energy and things like that. So
absolutely.
Let's take a photo here. Photo op. Perfect. Yeah.
Who do you think looks cuter?
I mean, I think this looks good.
Yeah,
what do you think?
305.
Yeah.
Mr. 305.
Yeah. Pink's good for me.
It is good for
yeah.
you. Really,
I have shoes that match
honestly,
this.
The blue's really bringing out the blue in your eyes. But like the green, I feel like we might have to do a wardrobe change for the shirt. Maybe like, yeah.
Why?
We got a lot of colors going on here.
I like colors.
Looking like a rainbow friend.
Sure. Why not? Why not? All right. I need on the main card. Where's your pick for fight of the night? I think there's 2 contenders. I think you got Yanez and Font, and then Masvidal and Burns. Like, if it's either of those 2, who's it gonna be?
Man, like we were talking about, I think if Masvidal could bring that dog fight out of Gilbert, then I'm gonna go with them. But I think like Adrian Yanez is just so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Adrian.
I mean, how do you have 5 fights and 5 bonuses?
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, if he just comes with his win and show money home, like, to be like, where's the rest of it? Like, I'm so used to getting 50.
He's like,
what happened?
What is this shit?
Right, yeah.
I said it.
Like, nice. Yes, we've evolved, Hannah. We've already come full circle here.
Getting so mature.
Yeah.
The past 30 minutes.
Oh my God. And then we're going to do it all again tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll even like graduate to a different swear word.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
All right. Let's try to rein it back in. I don't know if we're ready to take over the world in one night.
Maybe the 305 though.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Is that the area code?
I mean, I just knew it because
It's the area code, right?
Yeah, you just got to wear that hat forever and I'll just remember.
I mean, why wouldn't I wear this forever?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of you now, just like the Lego.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably not going to work well for me in like different area codes, but
yeah,
you know,
we'll just we'll make like a Velcro thing and we'll just like change it everywhere you go.
So I saw Colby Covington do something that I mean is very clever. So he says he's the king of Miami, right?
Okay.
That's Masvidal's sort of moniker, and Colby's did like 305 with his hands, but it came off as 503, which is actually the area code for Oregon, where Colby's actually from. So it's very like deep. Yeah.
And he didn't mean to.
No, I think he did.
Oh, okay.
I think Colby means to do everything that he does.
He's smart.
I mean, yeah.
You're not gonna give him that.
No. So, to me, if you want everyone to love you, it's not the smartest way to make everyone hate you to get the love, but it's worked in pro wrestling for years.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the fans are crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
like they either love you or hate you, so it's like.
It's one of those 2 things. Like
any attention is good attention, right?
Yeah, I feel like MMA fans in particular don't really go, oh yeah, they're cool. Yeah. They're like, no, I love them, or like I want to see them destroyed.
I want them to die.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
so aggressive.
Yeah, it's like, hi, I've never met you before. Why am I going to die?
I know you. Like sometimes I read my DMs and I'm like,
That's scary.
This is why I don't read my DMs.
That's scary.
Like, yeah, I mean it could go one of two ways.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, there's a third way, but we're not gonna go.
I don't get any DMs, so. Yeah.
I'll DM you.
Oh, thanks. Nice. It's because of the hat, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Only because you're Mr. 305.
I know. For a few more hours until this fight weekend ends, and then I'm just going to be, I don't even know what area code I live in California.
I don't either.
No,
I'll definitely make you a Velcro thing for
Thank you. Hey, we'll just change it off, right? Like, yeah. We'll come up with it. It'll be my brand.
Yeah. No,
I'm a man of the people. I think everywhere I go for extra rounds, I got to get some local flair.
Yes.
Dress up on the show.
Mr. Wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Wherever the F you are.
Right. Yeah. Don't say that swear word yet. That would.
I couldn't.
Yeah, episode 3 before we get to that one. All right. All right. I think we're good, right? Anything else we need to do here? No?
We're good?
Yeah, I think we're good. You ready to watch fights tomorrow?
I absolutely am.
All right, you ready to put in some more extra rounds with me tomorrow?
I'm so excited.
Sweet. It's going to be good. We can't wait for UFC 287 to go down tomorrow here in Miami. If you are available, come on out to the fight. Say hi to me and Hannah Goldy. We'll be here taking it in, and then we'll be doing more extra rounds tomorrow, before and after, and all that fun stuff with the event. So for Hannah, I'm TJ. For Justin Gaethje, appreciate him joining us. Appreciate you joining us as well. It's extra rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass. We'll talk soon.